Voila, voila, there we go, there we go. There we go, there we go. It's 103, it's 103. I told you that I was coming back. On, and I am here. Let's see. No, I can't see the screen without my glasses on. So I'm going to put them back on, and you just get to see me in my glasses. I'll give you time to come in. Please let me know who that is. That looks like Robert from Texas. Hi, Robert. Marshall, Texas. Cedric, all the way from Georgia. What's going on today? How you all doing? It's Saturday. Tell me what you got going on while we're waiting for a few people to come in. Hey, Cedric, I'm waving at you. Robert, how are things in Texas? What's going on in Texas with this virus? Rona. Miss Rona's here. Tell me who you are. Say wave or something when you come in so that I can see your name. Not all the faces are popping up. Larry Felser, it's been a long time. How are you? How are you doing? It's good to see you here. Text me, inbox me. Let's catch up and see what's going on in our world and what we can do with some of the things that's going on. I was on earlier this morning and I was talking about, those of you who may not have seen it, I went live this morning and I wanted to talk about some precautions or just cautions if people were going to be going to the barbershop, to the salons, and to, hey Pablo, hey Miss Person, and to nail salons. Just some precautions. I threw those things out there. I'm not going to rehash those, but if you are there, if you're online later and you're looking for something to watch, please go back and watch that live. I wanted to start out by talking about this stimulus package. I am not a politician. I am not here to take a political side. I'm just here to talk about the things that are there. Definitely not gonna talk about all the things because there were definitely 880 pages. Dr. Williams is back, thank you. There were definitely 880 pages of information there. But I wanted to see what things pertained directly to myself and to people that I know. I'm gonna tell you right now. There were some things that were in there that I didn't understand, and I'll jump in. I'll actually jump right in with one of those things while we're waiting for people to come in, and I'm somewhat smiling and laughing at the same time, but I found it interesting. There's actually money in here for Howard University, $13 million for Howard University to remain available through September the 30th, 2021 to prevent, to prepare for, and respond to coronavirus domestically or internationally, including to help defray the expenses directly caused by coronavirus and to enable grants to students for expenses directly related to coronavirus and the disruption of university operations. I'm just sharing some things before I get to what I want to get to, that there was money here in the stimulus bill that was just signed by President Trump yesterday for Howard University, $13 million. It was the only university that I saw specifically mentioned in the stimulus bill to be able to respond to the coronavirus and to be available internationally or domestically. And I just thought that was interesting. And as I went through it, I did see some things that were very interesting concerning other places. But I'm going to go, one of the things I do want to mention, I'm not going to read everything. One of the things I do want to mention, because there are many people who are self-employed, and maybe you are, or maybe you know someone who is. And I do want you, hey, Pastor Goodman, I'm doing well. How are you, sir? I do, thank you. Yes, I know it's a nice shirt because my sister-in-law made sure she and my brother made sure that I had a wonderful shirt to wear. This is Live Life Live. This is my This is my logo. This is what I'm all about, helping people to live life live. And living life live means living your best life, living your truest life based on what you believe to be true at that moment. It has nothing to do with the person next to you. Quite interesting, Dr. Williams, what? That Howard University received some money? Is that what you speak of? Or is my t-shirt interesting? You're my sister. Hey, Pastor Michelle Alexander. So let me just say this as I was saying. Self-employed persons. There is a clause in here, and I pointed it out to my brother on page 87, line number 23. I actually pointed it out because he's a contractor, and I'm an independent contractor myself, and my money has been cut in just about 80%. I'm not worried, I'm concerned, but not worried, because I know what time it is, and I know what's going on. But they do have a clause in here for people on page 87, line number 23. If you are self-employed and you're seeking part-time employment and you do not have a sufficient work history or otherwise would not qualify for regular unemployment or extended benefits under state or federal law or pandemic emergency unemployment compensation, this covers you. So you may not, hi Linda, hi Chris, you may not be able to get, hey Maurice, you may not be able to get, yes, Howard University monies. You may not qualify for the state benefits, but that $600 a week that is here, that is possibly going to be here through the end of December the 31st, that $600 a week is available to you if you are an independent contractor. And there should be, as I went on my state website yesterday, there should be a line for you to be able to, yes, oh, trust me, we're going to be selling t-shirts real soon, Pastor Goodman. There should be a line on your state's unemployment website where you can apply for that, and they're already prepared for subcontractors. Let me go directly to, and there is no waiting period. They are waiving the waiting period for any state who has a waiting period for unemployment benefits. They are being reimbursed through this stimulus package. So that 1 week or 2 weeks, depending on where you live, that you have to wait in order to get unemployment insurance benefits, you do not have to wait. There's no waiting period. Again, your state is being reimbursed for you getting your unemployment insurance benefits immediately. Okay. I'll come back to that. All right. I'm going to go down to page number 567 of this 880-page document, because listen, for those of you that are facing foreclosure or maybe facing it, there is a moratorium on foreclosures. You need to request a forbearance, but it is here. It's a 120-day period, and it's renewable up for another 120 days. Now, this is not for the person that says, I'm up on my mortgage and I just don't want to pay my mortgage. This is for the person who was already in trouble or who may be facing trouble because of the pandemic virus, the pandemic that we are in because of the corona pandemic. That's what I meant to say. The coronavirus pandemic is what I really should be saying. So I wanted to talk to that person to say that there's help for you if you're facing foreclosure. Now, again, this is not for the person that just wants to get out of paying your mortgage, because when this situation is over, thank you, Karen, when this situation is over, you are going to be facing foreclosure at some point if your mortgage company decides to pursue that. So again, I want to make it real clear. This is not for someone who wants to escape paying their mortgage. I'm not talking to you. Those of you out, and let me pause. And say that, again, it's a 120-day period, and it can be renewable for another 120 days. So if it's you that's facing foreclosure, or if you know somebody else that is or is going to be able to do so, let them know that there's provisions for them. They can inbox me. I'll show them the clause, and then they can get with their mortgage company about that and get that stayed. The courts aren't even gonna deal with some of this stuff. Hey, Kim, because hey, Miss Judy and Pam, most of the court systems aren't even open anyway to even begin to deal with this. But some of them will deal with this after this is all over. I'll share you my personal experience. I said in the beginning of this video that my income has been down 80%. I'm an independent contractor. I do Lyft. I provide rideshare. I do User. That's rideshare for people of all ages with disabilities of any kind. And I deliver luggage at night for some of the airlines for a third-party contractor. And I'm used to having 10 to 20 deliveries a day. And I've gone to having 0 to 4 deliveries a day. My money's down. So I even went to Verizon yesterday, called them on the phone and said, hey, listen, my income is down. What can you do with me on my Wi-Fi? I don't need cable, but I need Wi-Fi. Now that's for me. I need Wi-Fi because if I didn't have Wi-Fi, I wouldn't be talking to you. If you have children that are in school-age children, if you have children that are in college that need that access, they can turn it on. They can leave it on if they choose to leave it on. But if you don't ask, they're not going to just give over these services to you. And they're being reimbursed within this stimulus package for doing so. There's a company in Texas who flat out made it clear that if anybody gets the stimulus money from the stimulus package, the $1,200, they were going to try to take it out of there, take it back from them in some way in payroll or slow down their hours or something. Not everybody's happy about getting this assistance that is being made available to you. So again, we were talking about if you're an independent contractor, this stimulus package covers $600 a week for you for unemployment benefits. It covers you outside of your state coverage. If you can't get coverage as a contractor in your state, like the Commonwealth of Virginia, then you can qualify for those things from this stimulus package. Foreclosure is there. You have a right to request a forbearance. You have to request it. It is not going to automatically be given to you. Get on the phone, call your mortgage company, and ask for the forbearance. I'm going to move down and talk about the renters. Do we have any renters out there? I myself am a renter. And I'm probably going to have some problems if you all don't, pay me $100 for this course that I'm offering you right now. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm going to be one of those people. I'll be as transparent as I can. I'm going to be one of those people facing that situation on April the 1st. Now, my apartment complex knew this was coming, so they said that we won't charge anybody for any late charges for April and May. Now, that sounds good if you're going to be late with the rent, but that doesn't help if you don't have the rent. Okay, I'm not the only person that's in that situation. So if you're in that situation, let me tell you what's in there for you when it comes to renters. Forbearance of residence. And those of you, listen, and there's even a forbearance for if you need it for residential payments, for loan payments, if you're not facing foreclosure and you just need a forbearance because of some things that's happening because of the coronavirus pandemic, there's a forbearance that you can get on your mortgage loan payments. They can put those on the back end if they want to and never evict you. And trust me, this isn't over. This stimulus package is only. They said this money is only going to cover for 90 days, which means they know they're going to have to come back again and do this thing. So if you all have, some of you out there are investors and you have multifamily properties, there's a forbearance for you. But if you own a multifamily property, which means it has 5 or more units in it, you can get a forbearance. But if you get a forbearance, that's going to mean that you cannot evict your tenants during this process or during this pandemic. If you are going to, or not pandemic, because it's really based on them saying that we're in a national emergency, which was declared January the 27th. And some things don't take effect until this was signed on yesterday. So again, I'm not the financial advisor. I'm not the expert. I'm just trying to give some overall views and some overall help and some encouragement to people to let you know that there's help for you if you need it. Let me just say that. There's help for you if you need it. I'll leave that alone. Because it's not my job to break this down to you, to give you 100% advice, but to give you enough advice that you'll go find and seek the help on your own, because it's there. And it's as easy as calling your social services department, calling the employment commissions, or getting online. Many of them prefer that you do it online so that they're not overwhelmed. And it can be as easy as you getting on the phone with your mortgage company. Listen, I was going to call Dominion Power yesterday to say, hey, what can you do for me concerning my electric bill? And before I could call them, when I went online, it says it right on the website. So again, we're not advocating you not paying your bills, but in the unlikely event that you are having trouble, Dominion Power, it's on the front page of their website that they are not suspending your service, but encouraging you to go online to make payments so that you don't incur a large balance, so that when you do get money, pay your bill. But right now, if you can't pay it, Dominion Power's got you. Hello? So stop crying, stop worrying. Listen, there's no need to have any fear. If you have any kind of religious affiliation or religious belief or any kind of belief system, you've got to trust whatever it is that you trust, or whoever it is that you trust, or whomever it is that you trust to get you through this. Listen, I'm going to leave that alone. I'll leave that alone because I'll go to preaching. I'm trying to help you with the stimulus package. Let's go down. I've talked about those more. Listen, here is a temporary moratorium on eviction filings. A covered dwelling. Listen to what a covered dwelling is. These are the moratoriums on eviction filings. If it's occupied by a tenant, if it's a residential lease, if it's without a lease, or with a lease terminable under state law, it is on or in a covered property. Any property that's covered means any property that participates in a covered housing program. And they have all these lists of those things. I'm not preaching, Ronnie. I'm not going to preach because I'm just not going to preach. You're not going to push me. You're not going to push me. Listen, if you are living somewhere that has a federally backed mortgage loan, I got to pause right here. Listen, I need to see some of you people that tell me you are renters, or you need to get somebody on here that is a renter. You need to share this and get somebody on here that is a renter, or if you are a renter yourself, you're pushing. No, I'm not about to preach. I can preach, but I'm preaching them. I'm preaching stimulus package for the people. How about that for preaching? Listen, but seriously, if you live in a residential place that has a residential lease on it that you are renting, or you live in a multi-family building that has more than 5 units, or if you live in a place that has a federally backed mortgage loan, or a federally backed multi-family mortgage loan, you probably can get online if your county records or your city records are up, and you can find out what kind of mortgage is on the property where you live if you're a renter. And guess what? It is okay for you to ask your landlord. It is okay for you to ask your leasing company or your management company, is there a federally backed mortgage loan on this property? Hello, somebody. Ask them. If you don't ask, you may not get anything. Ask them if there is a Pastor Harris, listen, if there's a federally backed mortgage loan on a residential property that you lease, or a multifamily property that has more than 5 units in it, then there is a moratorium on eviction. So in the event that you can't pay your rent, and because it was signed yesterday, it is in effect. So that will cover you for April. So you need, listen, push this information to somebody, or maybe you need it yourself. And again, I'm not appealing and telling people to just flat out don't pay their bills, but I'm telling you that there is assistance here if you need it. Now, I've got some precautions and some warnings on the back end, because we may be getting some temporary help and some temporary assistance, but I believe there's some things coming on the back end that may snag us if we don't properly do our due diligence and do what's right by the money and prepare ourselves and put ourselves in position for the wealth transfer that is on the way. But I'm telling you, you got to get in position for it. So let me get back to this rental thing. Listen, a federally backed mortgage loan. Let's talk about that. Since somebody says, "Well, I don't know," it includes any loan other than temporary financing, such as a construction loan. Any loan that is secured by a first or subordinate lien on a residential real property, including individual units of condominiums and co-ops. Condominiums and co-ops included New York City. Listen, let me read some more of it. It covers any such secured loan, the proceeds of which are used to prepay or pay off an existing loan secured by the same property. So if the property in which you live is securing a federally backed mortgage loan, then your rent, they cannot evict you. And listen, I'm going to go down even further. It says if this loan is in whole or in part, insured, guaranteed, supplemented, or assisted in any way by any officer or agency of the federal government, or in connection with a housing or urban development program administered by the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, or a housing or related program administered by any other such officer or agency, or is purchased or securitized. Listen, let me help you with that. Just in case where you live is not backed by a federally secured mortgage. Listen, that means that if it is sold to a servicing company that is backed by such, then you are qualified. Where you live qualifies if the loan was sold or purchased or securitized. And let me tell you what I know from experience and what I know from business prior. At least 80% of the mortgages are securitized, because that's what got us in trouble in 2008, because there were all these loans, hundreds and thousands of loans that were securitized and collateralized together, and they were just worthless pieces of paper that were sold and sold and sold. And some of you who had houses in 2007 and 2008, you can attest to this. You've got one servicer within 45 days of you signing the documents on the house. You got a house, and 45 days later, the person that loaned you the money wasn't even the person that was servicing the loan. It was sold. And then some of you, it was done again 2 or 3 more times. The loans continue to get sold, and somebody makes $100 or $1,000 or $2,000, and they move on, securitizing mortgages. I'm not, again, if you're in a place, if you're renting a residential, it doesn't matter if it's residential, if it's a condominium, if it's a co-op, or you are in an apartment complex where there are 5 or more units. Now, residential lease, it just needs to be the one house. But if you're in a multifamily property, it has to be 5 units. But guess what? If you're in a unit that's covered that has 1 to 4 units, that's a residential mortgage. That's a residential lease, because it has to be more than 4 units to qualify for commercial financing. Anything that's 1 to 4 units is a regular financing. And let me just go on and throw this at you. Many of you who live in more house than you can have. You should be out there buying a duplex, at least, where you live in one side and somebody else lives on the other side. Or you buy a house that has a basement rentable. Or you buy a house that has a garage in the back that you can convert into income. We've got to begin to think wise. I'm telling you, through this stimulus package, through the things that are going on in the world, even to this pandemic, God's not caught up. Your God, Allah, whatever you refer to, your higher power is not caught off guard about what's going on. And I do believe that this is setting up the ground floor for the greatest transfer, for the wealth transfer of the wealth of the wicked that's being laid up for the just. Now, I want to say this to you. I do not believe that the wealth are going to go bankrupt. Some of them may, but the majority of them are getting rich right now. That's why you hear them talking about trillions of dollars, unlimited, quantitative easing being poured into the market. And if you don't believe me, trust this. Go back and Google or YouTube the president signing the stimulus bill yesterday. You've been told it's a $2 billion package. Yes, but President Trump, when he signed it, he referred to it as an up to or a $6.2 trillion package, because there's $4 trillion that is being released into the market to ease up the supply of money, to make things more liquid, because many of us have frozen our money. We're not spending. We've taken our money out of banks, and they need some money to be fluid and to be moving around in the economy. So they've got $4 trillion on top of this $2 trillion stimulus package to keep money moving liquid. That money came out of thin air. They don't have that money. They do not have that money. Let me go read some more of this that we renters qualify for. Listen, there's a moratorium for 120 days. 120 days. That's 4 months that they cannot evict you. If you live in a multifamily property or in a residential property that you have a residential lease, if you live in either of those that's backed by a federally mortgaged loan or has been sold or securitized in any way, that could be HUD, that could be Fannie Mae, that could be Freddie Mac, that could be the Veteran Affairs. Listen, some of you already know where you live qualifies, and it's 120 days. And then even after that 120 days, they have to give you a 30-day notice before they can evict you. They have to give you 30 days before. They can't even go to the court and ask for a writ of possession and rush you out of there in 1 day or in 3 days or in 5 days or in 7 days. They can't do that. This stimulus package, this stimulus bill gives you 120 days. If you cannot pay your rent, if you can't pay your rent, it gives it to you. Even if you decide that, oh, you know what, I can't pay my rent and pay my car note, and you want to pay your car note and not pay your rent, that's up to you. But just be aware of the fact that after the 4 months is over, if your rent is not where it needs to be, you're going to get a 30-day notice, and you're going to need to be out of that property. Now, I'm not advocating for you to not pay your rent. But if you are in a situation, I'm in that situation myself. If I needed to go back to mom and daddy's house, I was going to ask to do so. Not too proud to do it. But I'm in that situation, and thankful now that I'm going to be afforded the opportunity. So I've got 4 months to get things together. And if not, then I'll do what I need to do. But see, listen, let me go Bible on you for a second. If you're a Bible believer, and even if you're not, there's something in your religious order that probably says something similar. That you got to allow today to take care of itself and let tomorrow take care of itself. Number one, tomorrow's not promised. And number two, today has enough evil. Today has enough things on its own for you to take care of without you being concerned about tomorrow. And listen, who knows? Today could be the day of your breakthrough, that you get the $1 million breakthrough that you've been looking for, or whatever it is that you might need, or whatever it is that God has for you. It may be here in order for you to get it. And it may be in order for you to get it. It may be in order for you to get it. So listen, I want to stop and encourage you. Not to be losing sleep. This is the time that if you're not working, or you ought to be resting. Your mind should be rested. You should be fasting. You should be meditating. You should be having a consistent prayer life, or a consistent communication with your God. You know what I'm saying? Listen, my work is down 80%. I've gotten the much needed rest. I don't feel any tightness in my chest. I'm not getting sleepy except when I should be, and I'm taking the time to rest and rejuvenate my body for what's to come. Listen, don't be out there if you don't need to be out there. It's really real. And if you don't think it's real, you Google some videos of what's going on in New York. You look at what the doctors and the nurses are saying who are on the front lines. They are being forced to wear N95 masks longer than they would. They are disinfecting goggles that they would have thrown away and reusing them, reusing PPE and going home and wondering if they're taking this stuff home to their family members. Let's pray for them. Let us pray for them that are on the front lines in these hospitals fighting this pandemic. It's not time for judgment. Listen, I don't care what party you are with at this point, but it's time to realize that there are some situations out there on both sides where people need to be helped and can be. Hey, Mike, it's been a long time. So again, not advocating that you get this protection if you don't need it. But I am saying that it is there if you need it. Okay? All right. Let's see what else is there. Let me go page 768. Somebody asked me this morning when I was on live, did I go through all 880 pages of this stimulus bill? Yes, I did. Yes, I absolutely did. Listen, there are companies, there are companies that are receiving billions of dollars for this. There's money for the airlines, and then there's specific money for employees of the airlines. So listen, if you work for an airline, go and ask. What is there available for you? It's in here. Even if you're not a part of a union, you qualify because this stimulus bill has given money to industries and to businesses. They've even, if some employees would keep their employees on and pay them, the government is going to give them loans. That if they fulfill their obligation as employers, they're going to forgive the loans. So there's all kinds of provision in this stimulus package. But let me say this. Now I'm going to go. I'm going to be a little religious about this. You know, for those of you that are Christians, or you have you have a religious affiliation that just has certain beliefs around heaven, certain beliefs around hell. Some of you are conspiracy theorists, and I can work with that too, because I'll just let it be known, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm more of a conspiracy theorist than anything, and what I do is I remain open to everything, and I want to consider everything, and I'm encouraging you to do that. Whatever you believe is what you believe. We're not here to shout anybody down about what they believe, because we all have a right to believe what the hell we want. Okay, but in that belief, let's respect each other for that belief system. Okay, listen, I want you to share this with people, because I've talked about independent contractors, I've talked about people who rent, I've talked about people who have mortgages, we've talked about loans. I've even mentioned that Howard University, the only university that I see mentioned in here, they're getting $13 million to be available to help prevent, to prepare for, and to respond to the coronavirus domestically or internationally. If their operation has been impacted, somebody made sure that Howard University got some money. Okay, it's all kinds of things in here. If you're a business owner, you need to go in there and check it out for yourself. But again, if you're a renter, if you're a homeowner, if you are a landlord, if you're an independent contractor, I talked about those things. It's in there. It's available for you. And those of you that already get unemployment from your state, that other $600 is there for you as well. I don't even want to talk about the $1,200, because the majority of you have already heard about the $1,200. It's coming. If you filed a tax return in 2018, it's coming. If you filed a tax return for 2019, and if you hurry up and file one, they said it's coming. And they even said that if you did not file a tax return, the Treasury Department is making a way available for those of us who do not file taxes, or who did not file taxes in 2018 or 2019. Help is here, and it is on the way. Okay, so let me go religious for a second. So many people are saying, well, oh my God, the government's getting too big. And listen, I'm not here to argue that. And some people are saying, well, I'm not taking any federal aid because, they're going to have my name, my number, my address. Well, the chances are they got all of that anyway. And if they don't, oh well, they have a way to get it. So some people are saying, well, this is leading up to the mark of the beast. You know what? It might be, and I'm more inclined to believe that it is. But let me tell you what I do know. If you are listening to me, then you are being given an opportunity to prepare yourself so that when that time comes for the mark of the beast, if it's any such thing coming. And I'm saying that because I'm not here to challenge anybody's belief. But if that is your belief, you got to get yourself in position not to take that. Because watch this. If you're hungry, if you get hungry enough, you're going to take it. If you get thirsty enough, you're going to take it. Or you got to become a person that's now going to go hunt for food and going to go find fresh water. Many of us are not equipped for that, and many of us can't even adapt to that. So how can we prepare? Listen, they're preparing for the greatest wealth transfer. Behind the scenes, they're preparing for the greatest transfer. If you all will, I know what I'm saying, listen, and you can go back and check me on this stuff that I'm saying. On Wednesday, they were holding up the voting. The Senate was holding up the vote on the stimulus package because it was stated in there that there was $2,000 for every person 18 or older per month. And it was going to be given to them 6 months after the national emergency had been declared over. It was in there. It was in there before they went back and said, wait a minute. And here's how you know it was in there. If you don't believe me, you go and Google it. Go and YouTube it. They said, the Republicans said, wait a minute. You're incentivizing people not to work. We need people in the workforce. You're going to be giving people more money than they get from working. Think about it. If you had $2,000 and your spouse had $2,000, and then on top of that, there was $1,000 for every child. So a husband and wife and 3 kids, that was $7,000 a month, $84,000 a year. Many families don't even see that kind of money, but it was in the package before they went back and trimmed it down and made sure that they were compromising on that. So listen, I'm going back to say that if they're preparing to transfer the wealth, then listen, you don't have to take my word. You don't have to believe me. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not giving you financial advice. But if I were you, I would Google digital assets. If I were you, I would Google digital wallets. If I were you, I would Google Bitcoin. If I were you, I would Google XRP. If I were you, I would Google Ethereum, E-T-H-E-R-E-U-M. That's E-T-H-E-R-E-U-M. Somebody type these words so that people can see them. Somebody type somebody type Bitcoin, B-I-T-C-O-I-N. Come on, 3 or 4 of you, right on your phones, right on your computers. Type it so people can see it, Bitcoin. Because I want to be clear. And that's one of the reasons I'm not worried, because I'm preparing. I'm preparing to reap a harvest. I'm preparing to get my wealth transfer. And you need to prepare also. It didn't come in 2000. It didn't come in 2008. It didn't come in 2010. Thank you, Nay. Bitcoin, XRP, Google, yes, thank you, Michelle. XRP, Ethereum, E-T-H-E-R, thank you, Michelle. See, Michelle's Googling, Michelle's typing those things because she already owns some. She already owns some Ethereum and some XRP. I'm not sure if she owns any Bitcoin, but she owns some of those things. Listen, Lieutenant Governor of Texas said, old people shall die to save. What in the world was that? Old people should die to save your economy. Our elders are dying for that money. Sad. What are you saying? I'm not sure what you're saying. Texas said that old people should die to save your economy. Wow, no. They should not die. No, what should happen is the money changers and the greedy and the Federal Reserve System, which is not a government agency, which is not a department of the government, which is a Federal Reserve Bank just by name, but it's a private corporation that controls much of what goes on financially, because they make the monetary policy. They govern the banks, and they are the ones that are releasing this $4.2 trillion out into quantitative easing to prop up this market. Let me take a pause right there based on that. Listen, this stock market at the point that it was at 6,000, from 6,000 points all the way up to almost 30,000 points, The Federal Reserve Board has been putting trillions of dollars into the economy to prop the economy up because it is a failing economy like all other mainline economies around the world. Absolutely. So our old people should not be dying. And you know what? And I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they want, because we got a lot of baby boomers that are retired and they now need a lot of health care, and they're not producing the money anymore. And because of greed, a lot of their wealth has been stolen from them through investing and through the market. And now I wouldn't be surprised if they want to get rid of them. And the truth be told, if we'll go back, you know what, you done got me started now. Listen, some of those super rich people are in belief that the world is overpopulated and there's a move to depopulate the earth. And I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that this pandemic has nothing to do with it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Michelle says she has some Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Stellar Lumens, and Litecoin. All of them, LOL. No, you've only got a few. They're over 2,000. But you've got some of the better ones, in my opinion. Not a financial advisor, not giving financial advice. So what I was saying is, listen, if you go look. India has put money in, who's put money in their markets. The UK has put money in their markets. Russia has done it. China has done it. Japan has done it. All of these countries, they're in trouble. Sweden has done it. They're in trouble. The monopoly game is about to end. If you've played Monopoly before in your life, you know what I'm talking about. The monopoly game is about to end. And when the monopoly game ends, it's because all of the property is on the other. Most of the property is in possession of one person, and everybody else has no money to pay rent when they land on somebody else's property, or enough people haven't landed on their properties to collect rent, if you know what I'm saying, when it comes to monopoly. And that's what's going on in the world. Listen, hyperinflation is coming. The only reason the price of gas is going down, and that may be fooling you, it's only going down because Saudi and Russia are in a war for who can sell the oil the cheapest so they can get the business from around the world. The CEO of that Saudi company that puts out that 10 plus million barrels of oil a day, he made it clear in an interview that it only cost them $3 to $4 to get a barrel of oil out of the ground. So he can drop his prices. And when they went public, it was the largest IPO ever in the world from this Saudi oil company. That's why your gas prices are down at the pump. Not because of the pandemic, because there's a price war going on. Hello, somebody. So listen, and so back to this wealth transfer, because the economies are in trouble, you got to go back and look at the G20 meeting, and they've been talking about leveling the playing field. They had an emergency G20 meeting by teleconference. I believe it was yesterday. If it wasn't yesterday, it was Wednesday. It was either somewhere between Thursday and Friday. They had that meeting. I believe it was Thursday. And they're talking about the economies. And what are we going to do? They know they've got to do something. And they're going to do it. This pandemic may just be pushing them to do it quicker. Or this pandemic may have been pre-planned. I don't know. I'm not suggesting that. But I'm saying that it is a possibility that this pandemic was pre-planned as a smokescreen, as a cover to keep you so busy that you don't see what's going on behind the scenes. Cryptocurrency is real. Digital economy is real. Many of you are already doing it. Many of you don't even go into banks anymore to do business. You deposit checks by phone. You deposit checks and cash at ATM machines. You go to ATM machines to do withdrawals. You deposit your check and then you spend the money by tapping your phone on something, or scanning your phone, or scanning a code, or using a debit card, or just paying bills online through bill pay. There's so many reasons that many of us don't even need to go in banks anymore. So you're already doing it digitally. And trust me, if you don't believe it, go back and look at the Senate Banking Committee. They've had meetings with the Federal Reserve Board chairman. They've had, his name is escaping me right now, but they've had meetings with him to discuss how are we going to handle a digital economy with people who live in rural areas who do not have Wi-Fi and drive up to 45 minutes to get to a bank to handle business. But Elon Musk is throwing satellites up in orbit all the time because his belief is that everybody in the world should have Wi-Fi and they should have it for free. And if everybody in the world has Wi-Fi for free, then that's going to mean that everybody will have the possibility to have a digital wallet or a digital account. And if you can find a copy of the stimulus bill that was circulating, not the one that they approved, but the one that was circulating Wednesday, it even mentioned the Federal Reserve Bank, not your bank, not your government, but the Federal Reserve Bank was going to give everyone in America, except the non-resident alien, a digital wallet, a digital bank account. And that digital wallet and that digital bank account was going to be established by a bank or a credit union. And they were going to give them until January 2021 to do so. Listen, everything is changing. Everything is changing. There is no change without change. So we just got to get accustomed to the fact that things are changing, but we've got to be Jerome Powell. Yes, that's the Federal Reserve Board chairman's name. We've got to be prepared for that. Listen, they're going to a digital economy. They have invested in digital assets. They have done so. Banks have done so. Don't be fooled. They talked against it years ago, but once they realized that Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies were not going anywhere, they got on board behind the scene. You check it out. Fidelity is now letting people purchase cryptocurrency on their exchanges, and that's recent. That's recent. You check it out. And some of the financial advisors, thank you. Some people are telling me it's right, and they read it. So that's not the is it? What is that? What do you mean, Willie? That's not the is it? Please clarify what you mean, because I want to answer your question if I can. Listen. They're prepared to switch this over at any moment. The governments around the world, I don't think it's a one world government yet. I don't think it's part of the New World Order, probably so, but I don't think we're coming up on a one world government. And let me tell you this, for them to have a one world currency, none of them need to get rid of their own individual currencies, because all they got to do is have a currency in the middle that all of them can use as a go-between. In other words, if I'm trying to send money from the United States down to Mexico, I can send a dollar and transfer it through a cryptocurrency, and when it get over here, it's a peso. I can transfer a dollar through a cryptocurrency exchange, and when it gets over here, it'd be a euro. I can transfer a dollar and take it through a cryptocurrency exchange, and when it gets over here, it's a Great British pound. They're prepared already, and they're doing it. And trust me, listen, you can Google this one and fact check me. MoneyGram is already sending 10% of its transactions via XRP to Mexico. Fact check it. MoneyGram is in a partnership that uses no, not any kind of exchange. Some of those exchanges out there will rip you off. Inbox me, and I'll give you my recommendation, and I'll have no qualms about it. The one that I'm going to recommend to you two that I use, when you get to invest in $100 and you can invest $5, it doesn't matter, and there's no cost to sign up. But when you do that, they're going to give, when you get to $100 that you have purchased in cryptocurrency, they're going to give you $10 of Bitcoin, and they're going to give me $10 of Bitcoin. And I think it's worth that for me giving you this information, because I don't have to give this information to you, but I feel compelled. I had gone silent. I was too busy working, but I'm afforded the opportunity where I can't even work, or I'm choosing not to, because I'm not going to put myself in danger for the few dollars that I was making with rideshare, Userve and Lyft, and putting myself in harm's way, having all these people in and out of my car, not knowing who they come in contact with, and many of them are going to the grocery stores coming in contact with all other kinds of people. I got a family that I have to be concerned about. And let me tell you, I've been bankrupt. Well, not bankrupt, but I've been where I've had nothing because I filed bankruptcy once in my life, but I withdrew it, not knocking bankruptcy, because it's a wonderful way to get yourself a fresh start if you need it. He says this is an awesome opportunity. Yes, it is. Willie Lewis, this is an awesome opportunity for us to prepare ourselves for this financial breakthrough. So as I was saying, they're already prepared. So I'm not telling you what to do. Not a financial advisor, not financial advice. You can call this comedy, you can call this fun, you can call this entertainment. But if I were you, I'd check into some of this comedy and some of this fun that I'm talking to you about right now. Okay, listen. If you want to inbox me privately, I can make some time for you. But I will be honest with you. If many of you start to bombard me, and I do want to take care of you, because I believe this is my purpose in the earth at this moment. This is my purpose in the earth. I've been a pastor since 1997. 1996. I never stopped pastoring. I just didn't pastor a church, but I've always pastored 6 to 12 people. I got 6 folk that I pastor, and I'm good with that. Oh, I'm coming back when they say we can go back to congregating again. I'm coming back. There are many people who are listening, who are friends of mine, who are on. What do I suggest for people losing money on their 401k? Listen. I suggest you cut your losses. This is just my opinion, because I don't believe it's over. You either got to cut your losses, or you got to wait until the stock exchange comes back up to 29,000 points. When is that going to happen? I don't know. But I can tell you this, because I've researched it based on the 2008 situation, the 2008 recession. It has been estimated that it will take us 4.2 years to come out of this recession. And that was just based on what was going on 3 days ago. So if things get worse, it may take us even longer to come out of this recession. I can't tell you what to do. I do know that I warned some people years ago, before the stock market and all that stuff crashed in 2008, 2009. I said, get your money out of there. Some people lost 40 to 60% of their money. And this time around, when the numbers were up in the 20s, I told my siblings, and I can pull up the date and time, but I don't need to prove anything. But I told them, I said, listen, before this is over, these numbers are probably going somewhere between 11,800 and 17,500 as it relates to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And that wasn't anything that the Lord told me. But listen, history has repeated itself with these governments. And listen, every 15 to 20 years, we've had some kind of recession, and whenever that's happened, 40 to 60% of the wealth has gone into the hands of the money changers. Go back to 2008. Go back to 1987. It was there. Yes, my sister said, yes, I did. I did. I stood up in church. I stood up in church and said it. And listen, I'll go this far with you, because I can delete this. I can delete this when it's over, and I might delete it, but I'm not going to delete it. I share with some people because I believe that the Spirit of God told me to share. If you got $30 worth of XRP, you were in good shape if you were okay with delayed gratification. Because in 20 years, XRP is going to be worth $1 million a coin. I felt the Spirit of God tell me that, and I told my family first, and then I went online and I gave an example. If you go back and check my timeline, I posted it. I said it because God told me. And I know I'm clear on that. I'm very clear on that. And then he told me that it would be $10,000 a coin by June the 30th. Now that scared me, because, oh my God, it's almost April. This stuff is only 15, 16 cents today. You can get one XRP coin for 16 cents. Inbox me now. I'll tell you. I'll talk to you. I'll tell you where to go. I'll tell you what to do. This is the way for us to get our wealth transfer. The Most High God, Yahweh, I'm going to say it that way because that's the way I believe it according to the Bible. The Most High God, Yahweh, the same God that parted the Red Sea, the same God that drowned those people that came across after them, is the same God that is fixing to prepare his people for a wealth transfer. And listen, if you take $30 or if you take $300 and invest it in this coin. When that coin becomes $1,000, let me get that right. $300 invested, and you're gonna get about 200 coins. If you got 200 coins, and let's put 200 coins. We're gonna put a zero on the back of that. At $1, that's $200. At $10, that's $2,000. Right? Y'all follow me? Hold on. Let me slow down. If you got 200 coins and they're worth $1, that's $200. You with me? If you got 200 coins and they're worth $10, then you got $2,000. Come on, you with me? Somebody say yes, I'm say yes. So I know you with me. I don't want to lose anybody. Lord knows I'm sharing some good stuff, and I don't care how many people I help. I don't care if I help one person. I'm here for you. Please don't delete it. Okay, I'm not going to delete it right away. I promise you. I won't delete it. I'm not going to delete it. I don't have to fear. I'm covered. Please, okay, listen. 200 coins. I'm trying not to preach, Missy. Really, sister, I'm trying not to preach, but the preacher's in me. 200 coins times $1 is $200. 200 coins times, if they go to $10, it's $2,000. Right? If it goes to $100, thank you, Nay. If it goes to $100, that's $20,000 from a $300 investment from you purchasing 200 coins of XRP. So if that goes to $10,000, come on, then you got to add 1, 2, 3. You got to add 4 zeros to 200. Let's add 4 zeros to 200. 2,000, 20,000, 200,000, 2 million. Thank you for saying that you're with me. So XRP goes to $10,000 per coin, and if you get 200 coins, that's going to yield you a $2 million investment. I mean, a $2 million account, cryptocurrency account. There's your wealth transfer. And XRP is not the only coin that's going to go up. Many of them are going to go up just because of speculation. Because people are going to be fearful and jump in after they see it go up. Because many of you're going to hear about it and you're going to do absolutely nothing. And then you're going to jump in and it's not going to be too late, but it's going to be almost too late. You're not going to get what you could have gotten. Instead of getting 2 million, you'll get 2,000. Because you're going to wait too late to jump in. You'll jump in when it's already $100. Or you'll jump in when it's $10 when you could have got rewarded at $1 and $10 and $13 or $15. Doesn't matter. That's going to be your wealth transfer. Oh, they're already positioned. Do they want to do this for you? Absolutely not. They don't want to do this for you. But they can't stop it because they know along the way if people are going to jump in and sit tight and hold their money, who's putting sad faces up? Why you putting up a sad face? I didn't see who was doing that. But why are you putting up a sad face? What's sad? If anything's sad, it better be because the government doesn't want you to prosper. Don't think that they want you to. If you think that they want you to, you're sadly mistaken. If you think that the money changers of this world, that the people who are the super richest of the rich want you to prosper and be in health, you are sadly mistaken. If you do some research, if some of you would leave it, I'm going to say this, you may not like it, this is just my opinion. Some of y'all need to leave reality TV alone. Some of y'all need to spend less time. I'm not telling you not to watch the TV shows that you watch, but some of you need to spend less time doing that, and you need to start researching because you're going to be lost, you're going to be short, you're going to be missing out, and you're going to be having to take a mark of the beast, a chip, or some type of bracelet just so that you can work, so that you can eat, so that you can have some food. But if you got the right, sad that people would do, you're absolutely right. You're right. It is sad that people won't do anything after hearing me. But guess what? I'm free after I tell you. That's why I'm excited because I get my release as I say what it is I know that I should be saying. And Corey Benzie, oh my God, it's been such a long time. How are you? More time, yes, spend more time learning. Listen, and if you don't know what to Google or if you don't know what to download, come on. I'll give you some topics that you can start to research. I've already given you some. Bitcoin, blockchain. They're going to be using this for many things. Contracts are going to be on blockchain. They're going to start recording things on blockchain and not in all these physical places that they do in the world now. Records are going to be kept on blockchain, on computers, and not in, and it'll all be for there for all the world to see. It's all transparent. Money going around the world is being lost by the millions, and it takes 7 to 10 days. Money that they would transfer using XRP, listen, would take no more than 40 seconds, as low as 3 seconds. And the money be available. So no more 7 to 10 days of waiting to access money that's being transferred. And it will cost pennies on the dollar, not $35 for you to SWIFT it or for you to ABA transfer it. Help's here. But you got to know it. So see, that's why I can be excited, and that's why I can be positive, because I know what time it is. I know the season that we're in. And I'm not talking about the season of the pandemic. I'm talking about the season of breakthrough, the season of blessing. So listen, you ought to be taking time to sit down and meditate, be quiet and rest and prepare yourself. And the good thing is, listen, for those that are being laid off, you can take $30 or $300 out of money you got coming and still be ready. Listen, I've got what I need for the moment. I don't know about every day next week, but I've got what I need for the moment. Just like somebody, a lady I gave a ride to, a ride share 2 weekends ago. She said the Lord told her to give me $25. Thank you, ma'am. Somebody brought me some groceries yesterday. Thank you, ma'am. Hello? Wisdom, a wise domain. And guess what? When I need something else, somebody gonna take care of me. If he clothes the lilies of the field, if he clothes the grass, if he feeds the bird. Hello? All I got to do is tell you. Okay, Pastor Delia, right? Mason said, all I got to do is tell y'all. Okay, so yes, that's right. All I got to do is tell you. I thought you were saying if I need some food. Okay, all I got to do is tell you. Yes, that's all I got to do is tell you what I believe the Lord is telling me, giving me to give people. And it's up to them what they do with it. It's up to you to prepare. And I'll help you prepare. I won't leave you out there by yourself. But I'll help you. If you need help and you desire my help, I will help you. I've been doing this for a while. And listen, and let me say this to people that were members of my church between 2007 and 2009. I realized, and I didn't realize it until 2015 or later, that I gave you all a lot of stuff. And I scared the majority of you right out of my church. I scared the majority of you right out of the congregation. And I understand it today. But I gave you what I gave you because it was what was in my heart to give you, and it was what God gave me to give you at that time. But let me say this to those same people. Your palms, yes. But Michelle said her palms and her hands have been itching since Sunday. Money come to me now. Money coming, money coming. Somebody type it, money coming, money coming. Yes, come on, I dare you type it, money coming, money coming. Come on, type it, money coming, money coming. Listen, some of those people that left my church, and I wasn't there with any of them because they had the right to do that, have reached out to me in the last 2 weeks and said, you told us. So I'm not knocking you. So I'll say this in case you all think I was mad or anything like that. I wasn't mad with any of you all. Because I've always taught you that if you didn't agree with what was being taught or said, find somewhere that you did. And that's what money cometh. Yes, it does. Money cometh. Many of you did that. Money is coming. Yes, it is. Many of you did that. So I'm not money coming now. I'm not mad with you all for doing that. Because now you see what I told you then. Inbox me, Elderhood, inbox me. What I told you then is here now. You see what I told you 15 years ago, what I told you in 2007, 2008, 2009, you see it 13 years later, you see it. So listen, I think I'm going to quit right here because I feel the release to do so. I want you all to, if you want to know, now let me say this, if you just tuned in, I need you to go back and watch because there's a lot of information about the stimulus package. There's other information here on how you can make sure that you get in and don't miss this wealth transfer that's coming. It's not coming to the people who do nothing. It's coming to the people that prepare themselves. And trust me, because stuff is pennies on the dollar, you are in position to prepare. Claiming it now. Amen. Listen, and that's what I do believe. I do believe that if enough people get on board with this XRP and have focused, intentional prayer, It's real. Yes, it is. Sister Linda, I told somebody about you the other day. I remember saying that the day was going to come when we were going to leave this country. We're going to have to leave this country. And you cried and said, what do I do with Henry? Listen. And I told you then, you either got to stay with him or hope he come or leave him behind. I'm telling you that we're not too far off that. Hey, Javon, go back and watch this. I'm about to end, but there's some good stuff in here. I'm asking you all to share this, not because I need you to share it. I could care less about these algorithms. I could care less. This isn't monetized, and I'll be honest and straight up and tell you, the day is coming that I'm going to monetize my videos because I'm saying things that your pastors won't say. I'm saying things that your pastors can't say because your pastors don't know, because they're too busy preaching. They're too busy preaching cemetery messages and not a kingdom word and not a prophetic word. Now, I'm smart enough to know that I'm not the only one that's sharing the kingdom message that has a prophetic word for right now to help you through these times. That's what I did in this video. I helped you through these times. I told you practically what to do, not just to trust the Lord and fear not, for I am with you. I will be with you wherever you go. And if you make your bed in hell, I'm there. If you go take the wings of the morning and fly, I'm there. No, that's good. That's scripture. But give me some practical prophetic teaching and some prophetic wisdom that will help me right here where I am. Talk to you later, Kim. Bye-bye. So I'm going to sound off. And I hope that you've been helped. I thank those of you who were here from the beginning and those of you who came to the end. I'm going to ask you to share this on your timeline. Or if you don't want to share it on your timeline, just tag some people that you know need to hear what I have shared. I've told you what to do right now. I told you what to do. I told you how to help yourself, your family, people that you know in this situation. There's help. There's help. There's help. I love you, and I will see you all the next time. Live life, live whatever you do. Love and unity is where it's at.